Nithyananda, welcome back. We are now moving on to the segment of the glimpses of the glorious past on the 14th of May. In this segment, we see about the Leela of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has continuously been doing tyaga over the years to build Sri Kailasa, the only Hindu nation. So on the 14th of May 2004, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted a 2-day meditation program on chakra cleansing called Anandaspurana Program at Chennai on May 14th and 15th, 2004. And on the 14th of May 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism returned to Adi Kailasa, Bengaluru Adinam from the first world tour of the year. Following our pictures taken of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being joyfully received by the Adinavasis and devotees at Adi Kailasa. Later, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also conducted a darshan for the delegates of the Bhakti Spurana program. On the 14th of May 2012, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expanded on his previous description of Lord Sundareshwara, the embodiment of Shiva along with goddess Meenakshi, founded the Madurai Adhinam. Lord Sundareshwara did not manifest as the classical image of Shiva the Tapasya. He was jovial, outgoing, and fun loving, a blend of Shiva and Krishna. His accomplishments can be truly named as Leelas. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism compared the action of Leela upon human awareness to a river flowing with life giving water, endowing the land around it with lush fertility. As Leela unfolds in a fountain of bliss and laughter, the dance of the divine consciousness raises the vibration of the whole world to a higher frequency of well being. Such was the first incarnation of Paramashiva, Chokkanadar, the epitome of graceful beauty. Let us now see an excerpt from the satsang from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
All right, I'll continue on the story of Trijnana Sambandar. In the 63 Leelas of Shiva, please understand, 64 Leelas are described, but one Leela is presence, no action. That is why I am saying 63 Leelas. 63 are only actions. The word Leela can be attributed only to action, not for presence. So in that 64, one is presence, no action. 63 are action. In that 63, you will be surprised. The Leela done by Trijnana Sambandar, winning the Jain preachers through the fire test and water test, is also added. Please understand. This means Jnana Sambandar was directly respected and accepted as Shiva's incarnation. That is the reason, even though this Leela is done by Trijnana Sambandar, it is added in the Leelas of Shiva. Please understand, all other Leelas, Shiva directly comes down and executes the Leela. Shiva assumes the human body and does the actions. But this one, winning the Jain monks and establishing the Saiva tradition, by the water test and fire test, it is done by Trijnana Sambandar, but it is added in that 64 Leelas. Means even at that time, when he was living in the body, he was recognized, accepted, worshipped as directly Shiva's incarnation. Leelas done by Tirunavukkarasar was never considered as Shiva Leelas. It is done by Tirunavukkarasar through the grace of Shiva. Leelas done by Sundarar was never recorded as Shiva Leelas. It is Leelas done by Sundarar through Shiva. But Leelas of Dhrinyana Sambandar directly recorded as Shiva Leela. So Jnana Sambandar was widely accepted, recognized, revered, worshipped incarnation of Shiva himself, Mahadeva himself. No other branch of Shaivism, no other tradition in the Vedic religion talks about Shiva's Leelas. Shiva was always considered to be the frozen Himalaya, frozen Kailash. Only Krishna was considered as flowing Yamuna, doing all Leelas, entering into the barren land, making it fertile, flowing through the valleys and hills, reaching the ocean. Leela means the pure consciousness entering into the matter, nature, Maya, Prakriti, and playing as it wants. It's like you have already completed PhD, but you casually enter the first standards class and you just do any mathematics given in the first standard book and any syllabus given in the first standard book. You read everything, you master everything, you memorize everything, you show all your powers to the first standard students. What will that poor fellows do? Leela is like that. The ultimate enters into the lowest possible existence and plays with all the powers. So naturally, what will all the first class students do? They will all clap. Oh, see this student, see this student. He knows everything written in our book. Hey, this fellow only can write like this many books. Oh, he will not know whatever is written in the book. Leela is the extraordinary consciousness landing in the lowest possible existence and playing. It was always attributed to Vishnu. The Leela aspect was never attributed to Shiva. In Hindu tradition, it was always attributed to Vishnu. Only Vishnu takes 10 avatars, 10 incarnations. Comes as Krishna, comes as Rama, comes as Narasimha. Does all divine plays, Leelas. Never ever Leela was attributed to Shiva. Never ever the Shiva's Leelas were absorbed, experienced, described other than the tradition of Madhurayadinam, the Veda Neri. Only in the tradition of Madhurayadinam, such beautiful visual, detailed, factual, historical presentations of Shiva Leela is described. Shiva assuming the body of lower frequencies like human body, pig body, so many lower frequency bodies he assumes and expresses the superconsciousness and plays with these powers. I tell you, just reading that 64 Leelas, I wanted all the devotees and disciples all over the world to watch the Thiruvilayadal movie once more. Only 4 Leelas are described in that movie. I am not saying whatever is shown in the movie exactly factual. It's not completely factual. The Dharmi is shown like a comedian in the movie, but he is really a great devotee. He's not a comedian. He's a highly devoted, dedicated disciple of Mahadeva, Shiva. He only wanted little bit of money to perform his religious rite. Please understand, in those days, only if you are married, you will be allowed to touch the temple deity and worship. You can't worship the temple deity if you are not married. Even now, in Chidambaram, the Dikshitas, if they have to touch the main deity and worship, they need to receive an initiation which will be given only after marriage. So before marriage, you will not be allowed to touch the main deity and worship. That is why among the Dikshitas, even now the child marriage is common. By the age of 12, 13, even men get married. Because if you don't get married, you can't receive that initiation and do the puja directly. So this Dharmi, he was supposed to be initiated. He need to start the puja directly. Before that, he has to get married. So for that marriage, he did not have money. That is why he was asking Shiva to support him with a little bit of money. Only then the whole Leela started. Anyhow, even if there are 1 or 2 factual errors, overall the movie presents a beautiful view of Shiva's Leelas. When I was reading the 64 Leelas, continuously I am reading, whenever I am finding time, among all these Leelas which I am doing, I have little time to read those Shiva Leelas. When I read those Leelas, oh God, I really feel even the Saraswati which is in my tongue cannot describe the grace of his Leela. I really feel no saliva. The mouth with saliva cannot describe his pure grace. I can only try to give some few incidents. Sundareshwara, please understand, I am throwing a bomb. Sundareshwara is not Shiva. He is not Shiva as you understand. Sitting in the Himalayas, frozen in the ice, in Samadhi. No, he is Shiva and Krishna put together. Playing Leelas so casually, so beautifully. PhD student sitting in his room is not a great thing. First standard students just sitting and struggling their own way to learn the mathematics and English is not a great thing. PhD student coming to the first standard students and playing with them, showing his power and saying, tomorrow you can also do PhD, is Leela. That is Leela. Inspiring those first standard students to become PhDs is Leela. Sundareshwara is such a powerful being playing and expressing Leelas. Still I am not able to think which Leela to tell first, which one to leave. ஐயோ ஒன்னா ரெண்டா 64 ஆச்சே எதை சொல்லுவேன் எதை விடுவேன் ஒன்னு வந்தா இன்னொன்னு தொண்டையில விக்குதே இன்னொன்னு வந்தா தொண்டையில இன்னொன்னு சிக்குதே what will I tell 1 or 2 64 if one comes to the throat other one comes and stops and that wants to come out first but one thing I can be sure he is still available continuously. Just like when Dharmi went and cried in the temple, Choka, he appeared and answered. Even now, If you go and cry in the temple, he is there, and I promise you, he assumes human body and relates with you, answers you, responds to you, raises you. I am not lying, and there is no need for me to lie. I am telling you exactly as he is, as she is. He stays in a frequency where he can immediately assume human body. When Thiruñana Sambandar came in the human body and did all these divine leelas of establishing this great religious tradition, this great spiritual tradition, every step, every inch, every word he uttered is leela. When I remember, I am lost into this whole.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment. He is the 293rd Pontiff of the world's most ancient Hindu organization, Madurai Adinam.
Nithyanandaya swagatam Anandanubhavaswadam Sarvaroga nivarakam Vande papa vinashaktam Nithyanandaya swagatam Nityamuktam nirvisham शान्तमयं बन्धं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दगन्धसञ्चारं सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तं वन्दे ज्ञानालयं नाथं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्.
And now moving on to the 14th of May 2013. In that day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Inner Awakening Convention in the Kailasa, Bengaluru Adinam. During the morning presidential address, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained that when we enrich others by sharing the principles of integrity, authenticity, responsibility with the world, we are initiating them. When we help them to identify their root patterns, they begin to fully realize their life. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism further clarified that Vedic tradition has depth and breadth to include every religion. Because of its knowledge, Veda means knowledge. It offers teachings which enrich everyone, regardless of personal faith. Let us see the various happenings of the 14th of May 2013.
Today, Nithyananda TV News. Morning Satsang with Paramahamsa Nithyananda. May 18th webinar, Discover Your Peak Possibility. And June 8th, Global Inner Awakening Level 1 on two-way internet. Nithyanandam, and welcome to Nithyananda TV News for Tuesday, May 14th, 2013, during the Purnat Noratau, the season of completion leading up to Guru Purnima, July 22nd. Now for today's top stories. Morning Satsang with Paramahamsa Nithyananda. In today's morning Satsang, Swamiji answers questions from Inner Awakening participants. He explains that when we enrich others by sharing the principles of integrity, authenticity, and responsibility with the world, we are initiating them. When we help them to identify the root patterns, they begin to fully realize their life. Swamiji also clarifies that Vedic tradition has the depth and breadth to include every religion because of its knowledge. Veda means knowledge. It offers teachings which enrich everyone, regardless of personal faith.
Seventh day of Inner Awakening. Today we have a special session, Samskara Dahana Kriya. Working on Ahamkara. Please understand, we were working earlier on Mamakara and Swa Anyakara. Today we will work on Ahankara. आज हमारे इनर अवेकनिंग प्रोग्राम का 7वां दिन है, 7वां दिन है. आज हम एक अनोखा क्रिया, संस्कार दगन क्रिया करेंगे. So much has happened in 7 days. I think, how many of you feel just too much has happened in 7 days? I should raise my hand first. Now, never there was any program conducted by us in Dhyanapeetham in last 12 years of my public life. In 1 week, so much has happened. See, I tell you, we know we are practicing authenticity, means constantly we are expanding. But this time, we really expanded. Usually by 7th day we would have only completed ASP and NSP. 7 chakras and 7 bodies. And then 7th day we will start. Let us think of root pattern. Usually what we complete by 15th day, we are up, alive. On 7th day. And I should thank all of you for cooperating with this speed. Cooperating with the speed. And it is literally a conscious roller coaster. Inner awakening is a spiritual roller coaster. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's one of the best programs. I can say the best program. Every time we say the best, and every time it is becoming best and best. Best and bestest. Bestestest. That's a
May 18th webinar, Experience the Peak Possibility of Your Life, Sannyas. Are you a high achiever in life but still looking for that elusive fulfillment in life? Or are you a curious, dynamic young person waiting to go beyond the rut of life into the frontiers of life? There is a common door to discover the purpose of your life. It is the exciting path filled with positivity and possibilities to automatically make the world a better place. It is the unique path leading to leadership on one hand and ultimate enlightenment on the other. It is the path leading to a total revolution of the consciousness on planet Earth. It is the most successful, enriching, time-tested lifestyle in the most ancient living civilization. This is the path of the bold in spirit and compassionate at heart, sannyas. The revolution has started in the energy field of rare living incarnation, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Young, dynamic, successful business executives, financial analysts, engineers and doctors meet the pioneers of this revolution, the sannyasis of the Nithyananda order, answering all your questions live on the worldwide webinar, Sannyas. Experience the peak of your possibility in life. Sannyas is an attitude of living in the world without suffering, with a tremendous beauty inside you and outside you, in love with everything and everyone for no reason at all. May 18, 2013, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. India Standard Time. That's 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Watch it live on two-way video conferencing or on one-way live streaming via www.nithyananda.tv. June Inner Awakening Level 1 on two-way internet. Discover the root cause of your dis-ease in your life and complete with it to create and live in the space of infinite possibility. The rarest of opportunities coming this June is Inner Awakening online. Connect through a two-way center for the most immediate and long-lasting change you can get in just 10 days. See innerawakening.org and email to ia@nithyananda.org. That's all for Nithyananda TV News for now. Thank you for joining us, and let us end our news with a bliss dose from the Avatar. Even if you don't accept Vedic tradition accepts you. We'll see you next time on Nithyananda TV News. Nithyanandam.
You know, we are now moving on to the 14th of May 2014. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Varanasi Inner Awakening Day 13. During that day's presidential address, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expanded on the contributions of different gurus in areas such as the Ayurveda and Siddha medicine. He announced that his contribution would be in the area of spiritual tourism and that the entity Nityananda Yatras would support spiritual tourists in the right context of seeing the place and experiencing the place. He then spoke about how non duality brings completion to all fields of study. And on the 14th of May 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave an introduction into Kathopanishad, the Book of Death, amidst the Shivoham Inner Awakening Program, Day 8 at Varanasi. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded on the subject matter of Kathopanishad, death to experience the space beyond death. He explains step by step. First, life happening even in confusion, life is happening constantly to us. Second, when we change the game of life from law of life into flow of life, pain is caused. Third, when we approach the constant life happening with education, letting the flow, yama, to be and protect, and the law to protect dharma, that process is constant death and constant rebirth. Beautifully likening this divine process to the human like stones rolling in the Ganga, who begins her journey from Shiva Sahasrara or enlightenment flowing onto his body is getting chiseled and polished. Associating ourselves to the small part getting chiseled is feeling suffering, death, and why me. Associating with the bigger you or stone and enjoying being in the hands of Mahadeva, the greatest, most compassionate sculptor, to polish us into Shivalinga. To be worshipped is the rebirth, the space of wow me. Let us now see the various happenings of the 14th of May 2015.
Yama, Dharma. Please understand this word. The flow of life belongs to consciousness. Law of life belongs to matter. Thou shalt not freeze your life by mistaking Yama into Dharma. You need to understand what is the matter component of you. What is living component of you? For matter components, good to have dharma, law of life. But conscious components always have yama, flow of life. Flow of life brings beauty to you, grace to you, joy to you. Shiva in you is flow of life. One more important commandment to all human beings, especially for Hindus. thou shalt not feel bored. Thou shalt not be tired. The conscious part of you, which need to be dealt with the yama, flow of life, is being dealt with the law of life, dharma.
Like in Gurukul, we are not taught just by opening our eyes we can read. We are even that by closing our eyes we can read. So what I feel is, like either you come to Gurukul or attend the 7-day Varanasi Shivoham process. So at that time, Swamiji teaches us to move from the law of life to the flow of life.
My mom used to tell, don't go out and play in rain because you'll catch cold and you'll get wheezing. So I used to be always in that cognition. And whenever I used to come back from my school and if it rains, I used to get wheezing. And I used to get cold and all. But after coming to Gurukul, they told me that it's just a conditioning and there's nothing like when you play in rain you catch cold and all. It's just a societal conditioning. And I just changed my cognition, and after that so many times I played in rain, but I didn't catch cold, nor did I get wheezing after playing in that. So this is what I understand as the difference between law of life and flow of life. Law of life didn't lead me to the completion, it just might have given me temporary happiness, but flow of life led me to completion.
And Varanasi, I came to Varanasi with a great miracle only. When I listened Arunagiri Yogeshwara Swamiji's satsang, it was so nice. That made me to come for Varanasi IA. Then immediately I applied for Varanasi. Then I never thought my husband will come. In Dayal Davda, Swamiji said, bring your husband also. He was not convinced. When Swamiji blessed, and he also accepted to come for Varanasi, then he also came to Varanasi. We both of them are attending. It's very beautiful, very nice. Every day is joyful and enjoyable. And with the Swamiji, as if we are sitting, everybody and taking a coffee, we are all with Swamiji's around. We cannot express. You must come and experience Varanasi experience. In this IA, in completion process, I completed with everybody. When I was sharing with everybody, I thought, oh, mine is nothing. Everybody is having so much. Then all my thoughts and worries got liquidated. This is why I experienced very nicely, and still is going on. I'm just eagerly waiting what is going to happen another 10 days, 12 days.
I'm Pushpavati Sinaya from Singapore. I'm a senior midwife handling newborn babies in my Singapore hospital, which is the largest in Southeast Asia, and been in line for 40 years. I had knee replacement in 2007, and doctor told me that I won't be able to sit on the floor whatsoever, but I only can squat also not that comfortably. So I was having a lot of pain. During my sleep, I will just sleep on supine position, no turning right or left or whatsoever. I asked Swamiji that my knee I should sit on the floor and do meditation and all that. Yeah, I received it, I think about 10 o'clock in the night, and 10:30 when I was in my room, I was able to sit on the floor, and I started crying, and I cried to Swamiji, telling him that this is a miracle, because after this operation I was not able to sit on the floor at all. After 9 years of not sitting on the floor, and now I'm able to sit on the floor. I feel so happy. Every day is a miracle for me. I always talk to Swamiji. At home I have his photograph and I talk to him, and whatever it is, he always answers my prayers. Swamiji is a savior to me, I should say, because I used to pray to God, Lord Shiva, Goddess Mariamma, and Mahalakshmi and all that. But after knowing Swamiji, he's my guru, and I worshipped him. That's why I'm here for the second eye.
We are now moving on to the 14th of May 2016. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the day 10 of the Living Shuddhatvedam Convention in the Ujjaina Adhinam as part of the most auspicious and holiest event of Kumbh Mela. Additionally, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted a session of initiation through the mandala and gave an energy darshan for the lakhs of delegates who came to participate on this convention and receive his blessings and initiations. Later that day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism received the visits of many Hindu VIP personalities from the political and social spheres of India and abroad. Let us see the various happenings of the 14th of May 2016.
Shuddhadvaitam participants received continuing initiations into spiritual powers and experienced living the lifestyle of celebration. Swamiji gave darshan to participants of the Kalpadaru meditation offered daily through Nithyananda University at the Nithyanandeshwara Devasthanam, Ujjain. Nitya Yoga happens every day at 5 am for the Nithyananda Sangha around the world and is live in the Nithyananda TV. The two chariots decorating the entrance of the Nithyananda Peetham Ujjain are unique contributions from the South Indian temple architecture, especially from Thiruvarur, which uses the principle of centrifugal force for exceptional strength, where the top of the chariot is 3 times the size of the base, and it's been unmoved by the recent storms that took over Ujjain twice. Nithyananda Devasthanam, Ujjain receives tens of thousands of guests each day at Kumbh Mela. Nithyananda Galleria provides authentic products for those embracing the lifestyle of Sanatana Hindu Dharma.
We are now moving on to the 14th of May 2017. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism defined integrity as the frequency to manifest the state, space, and powers of Paramashiva. It is honoring every word we utter to ourselves and others, honoring every thought current we are cherishing within us, and every thought current we are sharing with others. Honoring this principle as our life is integrity.
Deleting all the wrong ideas you have about life, body, mind, consciousness, time, universe, world, about anything, deleting all of it and updating yourself with the new software is what I call integrity. Listen, integrity is not moral. It is not moral. It is a frequency.
Integrity with me means frequency. You will not come late to the class. Moral means you will be struggling. You really want to come and you will have a reason why you should not come. Absolute hypocrisy. The extreme hypocrisy I have seen is, I really want to be there, Swamiji, I don't want to miss Swamiji. Lies and lies and lies. See, lies which you yourself believe is called hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, when you express it to others, it is called lies. Lies which you believe is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the worst smell. Listen. The simple direct definition of integrity is honoring every word you utter to yourself and others as life. Listen carefully. Thought currents you are entertaining is talks going on with yourself. Be careful about your thinking because you are listening. Be careful about your thinking, your thought currents, because you are listening. Even if you think, I am not integrated, the next thought current, is it, I will make myself integrated, or is it, nothing can be done, this is the way somehow I push my life. The second thought current matters. Listen carefully. When I give this integrity definition, honoring every thought current you are cherishing within you and every thought current you are cherishing by sharing with others, honoring it as your life, is integrity. The thoughts you share with yourself, I should say thought currents, because with yourself it's not single thoughts, it's like a bunch of flow. With others it's a single thought because it's a words. Listen carefully. With others you share in linear way, one by one by one. With yourself you share bundles and bundles. If you can share bundles and bundles with others, you and he are in extraordinary at oneness. Sometimes some of my disciples, with them I can share bundles of thought currents without expressing much words. That is the way I received my teachings from Arunagiri Yogeshwara. Otherwise, in 9.5 months, no way I could have received this whole Vedas and Agamas from him. I received from him as bundles of thought currents. Because the oneness was so strong. When you share with others, it is one thought, one thought, one thought. When you are talking to yourself, it's bundle of thought currents. Whether thought currents with you or thought currents with others, honoring it as life. Integrity is a frequency. Just integrity is enough for you to manifest Sadashiva's state, space, powers, everything. Nothing else is required. Just integrity is enough. You all might have heard, we have a third eye and it gets calcified by the fluoride. Same way, we have one more intra-organ called vak, not internal organ. Internal organ is the card box. It's called vocal cord. Intra-organ is the vak. Vak is the software of our vocal cord. Third eye. Physically also there is a third eye, and you need a software to operate the third eye. That software is what I am giving as third eye initiation. That physical software, if it is physical hardware third eye, if it is decalcified, we remove it by panchakriya and vegetarian food, this lifestyle. Same way there is something called vak. It gets calcified by all the lies you uttered from the time you started your life. Understand? Listen carefully. Anything you know and you change, the vak gets affected. Means the frequency of vak comes down. If your vak is raised to high frequency, I can give you one initiation, materialize. You will start materializing, that's all. Why the balasans, the moment I initiate, start manifesting powers, and why the many of the adults are struggling? It is because the vak is in such frequency, the frequency is not even matching. I am in Jupiter, you are in somewhere Patala, means underworld. Understand, it is a frequency. Getting you to integrity means two things. You declaring from this moment, I will maintain my word as my life. The words I express to others are words I cherish inside. I'll treat that as life. That is for future. Past decalcification need to be cleaned. Detoxification need to be done. That can be done only by you remembering all the lies you uttered, which you are able to remember, and completing with them.
We are now moving on to the 14th of May 2018. On this day's presidential address, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism went on a yatra with his disciples to the Sri Mahapratingira temple. This temple is situated in a small village called Ayyavadi, around 6 kilometers from Kumbakonam, in the Tanjavur district of Tamil Nadu, India. Goddess Pratingira is the Ugra avatar, or powerful incarnation of Goddess Mother Shakti. Lord Shiva is worshipped as Agastishvara, and Mother Goddess is also worshipped as Dharma Sambardhini. Lord Shiva's manifestation as Sharabha is also worshipped in the temple. As per the Puranas, Sri Sarveshwara appeared to control the Narasimha avatar of Vishnu. Pratingira Devi appeared from the forehead of Sharabha. Pratingira Devi in this temple is flanked by Goddess Lakshmi and Goddess Saraswati. This is an ancient temple which is also associated with the Ramayana and Mahabharata.
On 13th May, Mother's Day, His Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda Swami delivered Shaktam, a groundbreaking webinar blessing us with revelations about the divine feminine consciousness directly from the cosmic archives, the Akashic records. In Hinduism, all worship starts with mother worship, and every day is an occasion to celebrate and reconnect with the energies of the divine feminine, Devi. Devotees across the world celebrated the occasion by attending the webinar and offering puja and abhishekam to Rajarajeshwari, the Cosmic Mother. Sunday again saw hundreds in Bengaluru and worldwide attend the Kalpatru and the Shivadiksha program with His Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda Swami. Mahasadashiva has blessed all life with this initiation of Samaya Diksha, Shivadiksha, which awakens the experience of Sadashivatva and the superpowers, the Shaktis, in the Dikshita, the initiated one. Sadashiva reveals in the Rudrayamala Tantra, Devi Diksha Vihinasya na Siddhir na cha Sadgatihi Tasmat Sarva Prayatnena Guruna Dikshito Bhavet. O Devi, the one that has not received Diksha does not attain perfection, completion, or liberation, nor a good future path. So by all intense efforts, one should become a Dikshita, the initiated one by the Guru.
In the heart of the Garbha Mandir of the Sadashiva Golden Temple, the Swayambhu Linga, the self-manifested Shivalinga, radiates Sadashiva's effulgence and grace. As a mark of gratitude for this blessing, a sacred bath is offered 6 times a day to the Swayambhu Nityanandeshwara Sadashiva Linga. These Abhishekams are aligned to the schedule that is followed in Arunachaleshwara Temple in Tiruvannamalai, the birthplace of our beloved Swamiji.
Shambho Shankara Shambho Shambho Shankara Shambho Shambho Shankara Shambho.
On behalf of the Nithyanandeshwara Sadashiva Devasthanam, it is my pleasure to invite all of you to Nithyananda Purnima Brahmotsavam, a 10-day celebration. We are celebrating each day with a beautiful Leela Alankaram. As the Brahmotsavam unfolds, we are going from day 1, from year 1 of his life until year 12. Slowly, the happening of the avatar, this beautiful Leela unfolds itself into the grand mission that we now see today. You have the opportunity to become a part of this beautiful Brahmotsavam. Either offer the Leela Alankaram or Abhishekam by logging in to gateway.nithyananda.org or reaching out to us on Facebook on Nithyanandeshwara Sadashiva Devasthanam Facebook.
Leela means the pure consciousness entering into the matter, nature, Maya, Prakriti, and playing as it wants. See, only when you cause miracles by living these 4 principles, you are living these 4 principles, not otherwise. Otherwise you may be thinking but not living. Just like in Ganga, how the stones roll, all of us are stones rolling in the flow of life, flow of Ganga. Many unnecessary parts of us are chipped and we are polished. In all this flow,
if you appreciate what life is doing to you, you will experience constant rebirth. If you don't, you will constantly experience death.
Maduram charitam maduram vachanam maduram charitam maduram vasanam.
Before the third eye is awakened, you need to detoxify the walk.
Valitam maduram chalitam maduram brahmitam maduram chalitam maduram brahmitam maduram nityadipate nityam maduram nityadipate nityam maduram nityadipate.
Upcoming programs: Inner Awakening, 21 Days to Rewrite Your Future, June 26th to July 16th. Nityananda Yoga Teacher Training, June 27th to July 17th. Nitya Dhyana Yoga, May 23rd, 24th. Nitya Kriya Yoga, May 25th to 29th. Nityanandam, May 30th to June 8th. Kalpataru Yoga, Manifest Reality, every Sunday online and at our Nityananda centers worldwide. Akashic Reading, access past, present and future. Contact your local center to register. Offer your name carved on golden leaf for the Golden Sadashiva Murti. innerawakening.org/golden leaf. Achala Murti Seva, offer worship to the Ashtavatara. sangha.nityananda.org/Achala Murti Seva. Mahasadashivoham, taking you to the next level of consciousness, June 27th to July 27th.
We are now looking at the 14th of May 2020. On this day, Kailasa's Department of Information Broadcasting, in collaboration with Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Peacekeeping, aimed at eradicating violence and promoting peace, telecasted the Nityananda Satsang on how ahimsa can be the strategy to stop the Hindu Holocaust, revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And on the 14th of May 2021, the ambassadors and delegates of the Kailasa nation received the Shaktipada and Shaktinipada with the live darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Devi Parashakti Akashic reading in Tamil for the whole of humanity. Devi Parashakti revealed to all, "From today I will start speaking on the subjects of Omkaram, the way of living, the way of life, the way of christening, the way you live, the Dharmartha Kama Moksha, the sacred state of attaining Purushartha in the 100 languages which are in the habit of Baril and the overflowing. From today onwards, I will use hundreds of languages, not only Adimuri and Tamil. I will give all you the Satyas, Yogas, wisdom, biblical way of living with the way of life and boon." And with that, we come to the end of this beautiful segment of the glimpses of the glorious past. And we thank each and every one of you for joining us in this segment. Let us now get ready to receive the alive satsang of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
अरुणाचले अवीतभुजाम्बिके मधुरापुरी मीनाक्षी समयपुर इंद्राक्षी कांची कामाक्षी काशी विशालाक्षी कैलास ज्ञानाक्षी शिवशङ्करि शापविमोचनि शोकविनाशिनि शास्त्रत्वे सहिते शिवशङ्कुशुभङ्करि शुम्भरि शुम्भमतास्तत्वे सकल मनोहरि सुन्दरि सर्ववशङ्करि शङ्करतोषकृते जय परमेश्वरि नित्यसुमङ्गलि नित्यनितेश्वरि पालय करुणकटाक्षि सूक्ष्मविवेक्षणि काङ्क्षित साक्षित सर्वकृते शुभजन शाश्वत मानस भावित कामित याचित पूर्णकृते सुकर सुखीकृत दुष्कर नाशकृते जननिन्दित क्रोधकृते जय परमेश्वरि नित्यसुमङ्गलि नित्यनितेश्वरि पालय अभये हमुदे अपराजित शक्तियुते हजिते शुभवरदे